Hi, we're at the Dolfini residence today, and it's April 19th, 2020. Just want to give people a quick tour of our backyard. For the last couple years, we've been trying to grow sustainable plants and edibles. So let me take you on a short tour. So this is a desert gold peach tree that we've been growing for about 2 years. If you can pan in and show them the peaches, they're almost ready. I've noticed they're turning deep red, and the birds are starting to get to them. I think they're ready for some peaches themselves. So this came from RSI growers, and like I said, it's been in the ground about 2 years. It's made a lot of progress. It was just a small stick when I bought it, so we'll move on here. This is a Desert Delight Nectarine Tree. This is actually from Moon Valley Nursery, and I put this in the ground about 1.5 years ago. So this has actually made a lot of progress. It's looking really good. As you can see, it's about 6.5 feet tall, and we have 2 peaches on it this year, or 2 nectarines, I'm sorry. And not sure if we can pan in here. Oh, we've got a few nectarines. So this is the first year it's fruited for us. This is a apricot tree that I actually bought from Home Depot, and it's been struggling, but the last year or so we came in with the wood chips, and we've noticed a huge difference already in the growth of the trees. This is, it's got a good 6 to 8 inches of growth already this year. This is just from adding the wood chips, a little azomite, and a little down-to-earth organic fertilizer. So this tree here, I actually bought this from Seamus O'Leary's about 4 months ago, and it's already getting huge. We've probably gotten 40 or so mulberries off of it. This is the Pakistani Mulberry, and one thing I've noticed about the mulberries is that if you pull them when they're not totally ripe, they taste kind of earthy and don't really give you the sweetness that you're looking for. So you actually want to touch them, and if they basically fall off when you touch them, that shows you that they're completely ripe and ready to eat. And like a lot of folks have said on previous videos that I've watched, they very much taste like a mixture of like a raspberry and a blackberry. So, and the nice thing about the Pakistani is that there's no hard seeds or anything to eat, just a lot of sweetness. So let's go over to this tree over here. This tree has been struggling for a while. This is a Lowe's Palencia, and probably been in the ground for over 4 years now. It doesn't seem to be growing much, but this year, again, since we put the wood chips down and started doing a lot of organic fertilizing, it seems to be doing a lot better. I don't know if you can pan in, but there's a lot of small oranges on there right now, lots of oranges. So I'm hoping this year we'll be able to juice some Valencia oranges. That's kind of why we bought it, to do some juicing. My daughter's been bugging me forever, who's actually the camera woman today. She's been bothering me for a long time to get some fresh orange juice, so we're hoping this year. So this is a fig tree. I planted this from Moon Valley Nursery about the same time that I planted the mulberry. This is a brown turkey fig, and it just, let's say, about 4 months in the ground. So it's looking good. Leaves are happy. We haven't seen any fruit yet on it, but it's come back pretty good. We planted in the winter, obviously, which is the best time to plant these in Arizona, to give them some time to get established before the heat comes. And over here is a wonderful pomegranate. This is actually a seedling from my dad's garden. He had some babies popping up in his garden. He potted one of them and gave them to me about 3 years ago. And this one seems to be doing a lot better too. As you can see, they're starting to become, we have a lot of baby pomegranates starting. This is the best year it's had since it's been in the ground. I can't emphasize enough how much the wood chips have changed everything in here already, and from what I hear, it's just going to get better and better. I've seen a lot of videos from the Vegan Athlete and Edge of Nowhere and a lot of the other folks that are here in Arizona, and the wood chips seem to be doing amazing things for the trees. So I came in here last year, added the first load, and then we brought in a second load of wood chips, and I'm probably going to be getting another load soon. Down here is kind of a test project. I got another Pakistani Mulberry, just planted it about 3 weeks ago. I bought this off of Etsy, out of a farm in California, so it started to get some new growth here. You can see there's more growth coming. These things are supposed to grow like weeds. I know the one from Seamus has definitely grown already, and I'm hoping that we're going to have a nice big shade tree by the end of the summer, or at least by next year. So here is a Arizona Sweet that I bought from Elgin Nursery, and this tree has struggled. It just has not wanted to grow much, but with the nice fall last year, we actually got some oranges on the tree that actually stayed and have continued to grow, as well as some baby oranges coming. So I'm not sure about this tree. If this tree doesn't show me some more growth this year, then I'll probably be pulling it out and trying something new. So let me take you over across the basketball court so that we can show you the other trees that I have over here. So here's an apple tree, Anna apple, that I bought at Lowe's about 3 years ago. This tree is doing well. If you can pan in here, we've got some nice big apples starting, and this tree has always been good for us. My wife likes to make apple pie around July 4th with these apples, and it turns out great. So again, I added wood chips to these last year and beefed up the feeding of the plant, and this tree has started to really take off with new growth and nice big leaves. So over here, this is actually a Costco special. I bought this about, I would say, 5 years ago. This has been in the ground now. It's a grapefruit, and it's actually an Oro Blanco grapefruit, which is a mix between a pomelo and a grapefruit, I believe. And this thing's been doing well. We've started to get, I think we got 6 grapefruit off of it last year, and it's got a lot of nice young baby grapefruit on it this year, so hoping for the best. Nice and green. Over here is a Moringa tree, and I planted these by seed about 2 years ago. This one is starting to come back. I cut it down during the winter just to, you know, kind of let it shape a little bit, because it was growing straight up like kind of like a bamboo stick. So we tried to cut it, and you know, watching the Vegan Athletes videos, it appears that they like to be cut, and it allows them to kind of bush out and become a tree. So this one's been well. We add these to salads and smoothies, and super healthy, so we really like it. And here's another Arizona Sweet that I bought from Elgin Nursery. This has only been in the ground for a year. I planted this last year around this time, and all the leaves fell off of it, and it looked like it wasn't going to make it, but it soon came back strong, and it's looking good this year. A lot of new growth. Hoping for a full-size tree that can add some shade and some oranges. I did decide to plant this one because the other one over there is very much struggling, so I'm trying to get an Arizona Sweet Trovita going here in the yard, because I had one at our old house, and they're awesome oranges. They grow great in Arizona. So let me take you over here to the Almond Tree. This I got from RSI Growers as well. This tree is just taking off. I don't know if you can pan back and see how tall this thing is, but it's got to be at least 9 feet tall now. So this tree has added some shade to the yard, and we have about 8 or 9 almonds on it this year. That would be the first year. When I planted this tree, my wife told me it wasn't going to make it because it was literally about this big. It was a stick in the ground, and now look at it. So the difference between the trees from RSI growers is that they don't need as much mulch, and they really like the Arizona soil. So we've planted a couple of these, and we just don't mulch it as much, and we don't add much to the soil. So we just use the Arizona caliche, and it seems to thrive here. So that one's doing great. Let me see if I can find an almond. See if you can pan in here. So it's got quite 8 or 9 nice sized almonds this year, so excited for that. We haven't had any almonds on the tree as of yet, so I think it's going to start producing. And so the mystery tomato bush, this bush started growing in late October. We have no idea how, but we've got a mulch bin over here in the garden, and we like to add a lot of mulch to everything that we grow. And so this thing started growing in October, and it just took off. And because of the protection from the house, it was actually able to survive all winter long. So we're getting tons of tomatoes everywhere. We've been pulling tomatoes off this thing every day. I mean, you know, it's 4.5 foot, 5 foot tall already. And we've just barely started to warm up this year. It's been a really nice spring, so the trees are happy. But this thing has just gone off. There's probably 50 to 60 tomatoes on it right now, and we like taking them off and throwing them in salads, or the kids just pull them off and eat them. How have the tomatoes been on this one, Savannah?
They're like really, they taste like the store ones, but better. I like them a lot.
I've noticed that they're very sweet. I think they're a grape tomato because of the shape of them, but
pretty cool that it just started growing.
Yeah, this is a wild plant. I didn't really do anything to it. Once it started growing, I did start throwing mulch and azomite and eggshell powder, and actually I ground up some of the leaves from the Moringa, dried them out, grounded them up, and started using them as fertilizer as well, and the plants seem to love it. So we'll pan over here to the garden. The garden's just kind of getting started. The zucchini have really taken off. If you guys can see, the plant behind it actually was planted by seed, and this plant here was planted as a small plant, and you can see the difference of how much growth I've gotten. So I think next year I'll probably use small plants in both spots. And over here is Armenian cucumbers. They seem to do much better as it heats up, so really love those things. They taste very similar to a cucumber, but they grow better here in Arizona. So I think that's it for the tour today. I appreciate everyone stopping by to take a look, and this is actually our first video, so you'll see more coming up soon. Thank you.